This is Crazy G, and I am on location at the Xfinity Center speaking with Jon Stevens, vocalist for the band The Dead Daisies. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us here on the G Spot. What is going on?
Oh man, we just got on. We got here yesterday actually, and it's nice to be back. We played here last year with when we were out with Alice in Chains and Jane's Addiction, and so it's kind of nice to come to somewhere that's kind of familiar. So Dead Daisies back in Massachusetts or Mansfield. Very, very happy to be here, and it's our second show of the tour with Leonard Skinner and Bad Company, and all I can say is it's everyone's just been so lovely to us on the tour, the crews and bands. It's just like it's awesome, old school, gentlemen. That's all. Yeah.
Awesome. The story behind the Dead Daisies is an interesting one. Can you tell us a little bit about how the band came to be?
It started with David Lowy and myself in Sydney, Australia. We got together with a view to write some songs, and we did. We were very prolific, and we are very prolific. Funnily enough, we have a great chemistry together, and musically speaking, and we found just easy, quick and easy to do stuff together. And so we put a band together. We did some recording, and then we got somebody heard some recordings of ours in Australia and offered us the ZZ Top support. So we did that, put a band together with a fellow called Charlie Drayton, who was playing drums with us at the time, and he's a very old friend, and he used to play with the Expensive Winos with Keith Richards, and he was married to Chrissy Amphlett from the Divinals, who are a very famous Australian band. So we've known Charlie for a long time, and Charlie came on board, and then he introduced us to Richard Fortis, who was on the road with Guns N' Roses in Australia at that time. And Richard brought in Marco Mendoza, who was playing with Thin Lizzy at that time as well. So all these people were in Australia, and we got together and jammed out, and we ended up doing the Aerosmith tour of Australia and New Zealand, and a couple of ZZ Top dates, and that was the beginning of the life sort of band, really. We've gone through, I think we're on our fifth drummer now. Because everyone's got day jobs, I suppose, like Guns N' Roses or Thin Lizzy, or everyone's doing other things. When the Dead Daisies comes together, it's like a little haven, I suppose, for everybody, to be creative and outside of their day jobs, I call it. But David, Lowe, and myself, pretty much.
Well, that's pretty cool. As I said, it was pretty interesting. Your newest CD and self-titled track, Face I Love,
yes,
is an all-around feel-good song.
Thank you.
What was the collaboration like, not just with this track, but with the entire CD?
Well, with that, we recorded the basic tracks up in New York when we were on tour with the Uproar Festival last year, and so we went in the studio and we banged it up. We actually, our drummer, he was playing with the Australian fella, a friend of ours. He was so sick he couldn't come to the studio, so anyway, I had a broken leg and broken thumb. I was pretty sick myself, but I showed up. So anyway, he went on. We got Frank Farrar in on the day of our first studio sessions. And Frank was amazing. So we recorded those 4 songs in New York, and we finished them up at the other end of the tour. When the tour finished, we finished them up in LA with a fellow called John Fields, who produced the Dead Daisies album.
I see that you're using an app in conjunction with this track. It is a pretty cool idea. How did this idea materialize?
Pretty much like anything, it's like with songwriting. How do you write a song? I don't really know, but it's kind of like, it's just ideas. And when you're working in a collaborative bunch, like, of any collaboration with people, I guess the Face I Love title sort of, it just immediatally, conjures up, the song's about the person I love, what can I say? And, people in your life, and, we travel a lot, you talk, you're always on the phone, you're always, talking to your kids or this, that, so, the people you love, you hold most dear, what the song's all about, and, because we spend so much time away from them. And the app idea was just, came from the song, obviously, but just the fact that technology today, we're also, the iPhones and whatnot, an app, people being able to upload their photos of their loved ones, and for us to put it in the mosaic of whether the video, the skull logo, where they can, go online and Facebook or whatever, and put their photo and see their photo on our merchandising, I suppose, it was just a good idea. and the fact that the people that we work with actually implement those ideas is really cool. You know?
And it is, because I think we're in a day of interactivity. With all technology today, that's an incredible idea to bring the fans into you guys, and vice versa.
Well, we're a new band. I mean, we are a classic rock band, because we're all seasoned musicians. We've all played in different bands and done different things, but there's sort of like it's like an energy with the Dead Daisies, which is it's like, I don't know, it's just fun. It's really fun. It's not our lives don't depend on it. You know what I mean? We're just having fun. We're writing songs and we're gaining new fans who just see us live because we love playing live, and that's what it's about. I think the whole live thing is it's a dying breed. We're a dying breed, musicians. Because the technology seems to have overtaken the music world, I suppose, or music, the airwaves. I guess technology is, I don't know what's real anymore. So being old school, I just love seeing musicians play and bleed on stage, and screw up on stage, make mistakes. That's what being human is all about. But because the technology is so good nowadays, it's like everything's so perfect.
Yeah, I would have to say, you guys, I think, really, I've never seen, I don't think, another band doing that yet. So you guys are kind of like testing the waters with it.
We're just doing what we've always done, which is play and play and sing, and you give your heart and soul every time, because that could be the very last moment, your last breath. So
you're not kidding there.
So I'm very. The Dead Daisies name came out of the fact that I had a double heart bypass operation 4.5 years ago. I went for a checkup, and when I left the checkup room, I went for lunch with my partner. And I went to sit down, and the phone rings and says, "Get to emergency now." They said I would not have made the weekend, and I was feeling right normal, like I'm sitting here with you.
Wow.
That's just crazy. It's crazy.
That is.
Double heart bypass, and they said I would have dropped dead that weekend, and now I got an infection. And halfway through, and I nearly died from that. So, when we were trying to come up with a name for the band, it was like, I don't know. I had this skull, daisies all over it. I just wrote down all these different names, and the Dead Daisies was one of them, and it just resonated so obviously a deep level with me. It's like, it could have been me. I could have been pushing up daisies, and I wouldn't be here. So every minute for me is like it's a jolt of energy.
Wow.
Playing with this band and playing music and just traveling and seeing people and just being alive. We take so many things for granted, and I certainly at that time in my life, when I look back, I was taking a lot of things for granted, but now I just enjoy every moment and embrace every moment.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to, man.
You do.
Because you never know. I mean, life is precious, and do what you love to do. And, I'm glad to see you made a great recovery, because I'm even shocked to know that, this happened. Holy cow, man. Wow.
Cut me in half. It's crazy.
Wow, that is crazy. Who came up with the idea to cover the track Helter Skelter?
Me.
That's awesome. I don't think anybody else has covered that.
You two did it many years ago.
Really?
But they didn't do it in the original key.
Well,
we were doing it in the original key.
I watched a video of you guys doing it. I think it was in December of 2013. I can't remember where. And I was like, oh my God, you guys did an incredible job with it.
Thank you. Thank
really?
You. I think it sums up that song in particular. To me, it's probably like 1969. I think it came out 68 or 69, and I mean, I just, being a big fan of the Beatles, that song in particular was like, to me, the first real rock song. I mean, it's just insane. His vocals and the heaviness of it is just insane. For that time period, there's all pop and, melody, melodic, and, sure, people were, getting out of it on drugs and doing all, experimental stuff, but Helter Skelter was badass, and it's still badass, and to play it live is so heavy, and it's like, to me it sums up like the Dead Daisies music. It's like heavy but melodic, forceful, but without sort of being ugly, I suppose.
Well, you did a hell of a job with it. I gotta say, I don't think, even now that you mentioned the U2, I do recall that, but it didn't resonate with me like you guys did, you know what I mean? So it was awesome. Did the band do anything different with Face I Love compared to your debut CD?
We had, I guess we were all playing, and who had different, like I said, the drummer didn't show up to the session because he was too whacked, so he got sacked. So we got Frank in, which changed the dynamic immediately, which is awesome, you know. But you know, Richard, me, David, and Marco and Dizzy were all there, and you know, that was the beginnings of the band. Really, those sessions were really the beginning of the band creatively finding together, you know, creatively, because David and I wrote all the other stuff, the album and stuff. So we you know, brought everybody in and went, come on, what do you got? You know, let's jam, let's play, let's see what's happening here. You know, as a collective, as opposed to have, you know, being a one main songwriter or two main songwriters and the others are just the musicians who play the songs. You know, no, this was an attempt, and not even an attempt really. It was just going, you know, how deep do you want to go into this? Because we're got an open door here, and the only way you can, you know, find out how deep, you know, a new band goes is by collaborating with people that you respect and that you admire and that you trust musically, and you know, and just good people. You know, they're good to be around, and you want to make music with them. I want to make music with them. You know, I don't, you know, you know, we write mine songs, but you know, collectively, what everyone brings to the table makes up the sum of the parts. That's what makes a real band.
In today's, you know, dynamic of this industry, it's really tough for people to stay together. I mean, it's, you know, I think I've had this discussion with a few artists. I know I just interviewed Richie Faulkner from Judas Priest last week.
Yeah.
And we happened to stumble upon this, and it's like, Judas Priest, 40 years, man.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
And to still be pumping out the same stuff. I mean, half the newer bands that come out don't even stay together for a year.
Yeah. Well,
you know, I mean, other than, I want to say, seasoned veterans like yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, we're wearing our hearts on our sleeve, and we just, you know, doing what we love to do, and that's play music. We're playing. We you know, shit, we're not going to be around for another 40 years. There's no way. But the music might. Who knows? We're making new classic rock. You know.
Right.
I mean, we've got the, you know, privilege of being on stage with Leonard Skinner and Bad Company and Paul Rodgers, who's one of my all-time favourite singers ever. And you know, this is only our second show, and we watched him the other night. Oh my god! You know, I just bowed down. It's just like, fuck, he still sings the same. His voice hasn't changed. He hasn't lost any of his tone. You know, and it's just it's very inspiring for, you know, a young fellow like me.
I know, I hear you, man.
Really,
Same here. But no, and you know, these guys are some of the bands I grew up with, and I've never seen them. Tonight's the first night I'll ever see them live.
They're amazing.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm a harsh critic when I see stuff, honestly, and I'm, you know, because I know how it all works, you know. So when I see people that don't put in or just, you know, going through the motions, I just, you know, but these guys are they're awesome, amazing.
I mean, stuff I grew up with. I mean, it's going to be amazing. It's going to take me back tonight.
Be disappointed.
What more can you tell us about Face I Love that we may not know about?
Originally, it was Richard Fortas guitar riff. You know, the opening riff. He kept cycling that. You know, just cycling just repeatedly like a metronome, you know, and until I, you know, and then the band would come in and we jammed on it for a while, and I came up with these melodies and I came up with this stuff, and I just wasn't feeling it, and I just let them play, and it took me a while to come up with what I was happy with, you know, and then the Face I Love popped out. We got the Face I Love. And I'm like, okay, I know what to do now, you know. And it's the thing, songwriting to me is like channeling. If you don't hinder yourself, but you open yourself up, and you just kind of like, you know, you let people breathe and do what they want to, what they need to do to, you know, get in together like that. It's better when you're in a band, but so it's really allowing everyone to just come up with shit, and then as a singer, as a lyricist, you know, kind of put the cream on the top without getting too, you know, overblown or anything like that. Just keep it simple, stupid, you know.
Right. No, and
you know?
I mean, you can beat something up to death like that. I mean, you get something good at the start, and you just pick and pick and pick.
I mean, you got the Face I Love. You know, I wrote that about my part. What can I say? I was been around to it for like months, and you miss your people you love. I come from the other side of the world, the youngest of 11 children. I have children, I have grandchildren. You know, I mean, we're all grown-ups, you know. But we do this thing called music, which we love. We just love, you know, love it. It's passion. It's our life, you know. And, you know, that's why we do it.
I always loved it, man. I mean, I grew up listening, and again, I'm dating myself to country west. You know, today it's weird because I don't care for it that
Johnny
much.
Cash, buddy.
Well, I mean, the older stuff, yes. Johnny Cash,
George Jones,
Charlie Pride.
Charlie Pride, yeah,
I mean,
man.
all those guys.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a lot different today, I think, compared to that.
Country's like pop.
Right,
That's what it
right.
is, you know.
The makeup of the Dead Daisies is culmination of some incredible talent. What is it like when you guys get together?
It's fun, you know. It's fun, and it's respect, and it's, you know, it's like an open tune guitar. You just hit it and it sings. It's weird.
It's cool.
Very cool, you know. And we've been through five drummers. We've got Brian Tishy playing with us, and he came out last year with us for about 3 shows and filled in because we had a drummer issue, and you know, different people were available, then they weren't available. But so now I think we've actually found our drummer. I think we finally found our drummer. I think Brian Tishy is the you know, the guy that makes up what we've been working on. The rest of us have been working on for the last couple of years or 18 months. So it feels good.
And it should, man. If it comes together, easy for you. And that's the thing. You have to experiment in this industry. You know.
Yeah.
You may not get the right fit with one individual.
Yeah.
Another one may come in.
Do you know? I mean, last year when we toured the UK and stuff, we had Charlie came back. Charlie Drake came back in. We had Daryl Jones playing bass with us from the Rolling Stones. So we had Daryl Jones from the Rolling Stones and Charlie Drayton from the Spencer Warners, and they were our rhythm section. And that is, amazing. That was an amazing rhythm section to have. But obviously Daryl's doing the Stones, and Charlie's back down in Australia working with Cold Chisel, who are all old friends and stuff. So, but there's something about being able to roster different people too. As per their availabilities, because nobody's bound to this. We're all doing it when we can and as much as we can, and everyone wants to do it because it's a creative hub for them. They're not as creative in their other bands. They play the hit songs, but in this band they get to create.
And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
You shouldn't, no matter how many members are in the band, for any artist or any genre, I think stifling the other members' creativity doesn't help.
No, it doesn't help. I think, you should always, an artist, you should always be going forward, and always play. I mean, if you got a million hits, of course you play what the people want, but you should always try and go forward, Being creative doesn't stop,
Huh? Perfect. I had the pleasure of seeing the band last year for the first time at Uproar. I know I'm not wrong now, but I wrote in here I could be wrong. But I do recall your performance because you had a cast on
I did, yes.
your forearm.
I had a cast here. My thumb still doesn't move. It's broken. It's broken. My broken leg.
Yep.
We're ready? Okay.
All right, cool. All right, so I appreciate the time. I thank you. Jon Stevens, lead vocalist for Dead Daisies. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And have a
God
great
bless
show
you, mate.
tonight.
God
Same
bless
to you, man.